It's sundown in Texas, and the Mustangs are herding up.
Friday nights show us how. Bam and the Mac, Coach hates our attack. His bells and a band sound. Big D stacks on money down. Rustlers and cheerleaders, Billy's in the fall. Sundown in Texas, this is Mustang football. Rustlers and cheerleaders, Billy's in the fall. Sundown in Texas, this is Mustang football. Pre-game tailgates, Bobby Lou is in the air. Living our dreams through this Mustang DNA we share. Game day clocks and whistles ready at the go. No question about it, cause it's football, you know. Bam and the Mac, Coach A's air attack. There's bells and a band sound. Big D stacks on money down. Rustlers and cheerleaders and Billy's in the fall. Sunset in Texas, this is Mustang football. Sun's down in Texas, living it up in the fall. The lights are heating up now, this is Mustang football.
This is Mustang football. The Coach Mike Alexander Show is presented by the Kim Assaad Group.
What we want to do with the Assaad Group is just develop a team that is known for their integrity, for working hard and supporting their clients and just giving the best level of service, because that's what clients want. Hi, I'm Kim Assaad with Compass Real Estate. I've lived in Texas since I was 11 years old, and we've lived in Grapevine since 2002. Grapevine is a great area to live in. We love the downtown area. It's like an old Western movie with log cabins. It's known as the Christmas capital of Texas, and we're really proud of our city. We love living here. Our kids grew up in the school district, Grapevine Colleyville ISD. We love their education and have been proud of just the relationships and friendships they've made in the community here. There's been all walks of life, from lots of stay-at-home moms to working parents that do a lot of volunteering for the schools. And that's really kind of how I've met a lot of my clients, is volunteering in the schools, whether I'm the team mom or in the booster club, or volunteered with NCL National Charity League, or with my son through Second Saturdays. We've had a great time just meeting so many people in the community. I've been in real estate since 2000. I'm actually a civil engineer by degree, married a civil engineer, and then I got my real estate license back in 2000 and just have loved it ever since, because I love working with people and just the relationship. Real estate is really a relationship business. It's about developing relationships, somebody that trusts you, and that we can help them accomplish their real estate goals. I was a broker on my own before, and I joined Compass because I just love the image and the support that I have with Compass. I mean, our ads look so professional, our listings look so desirable, and it just helps the client out because I can get their homes sold faster. But I have the Assaad Group under Compass. I've grown that with 2 agents initially that have been great agents, and then now my family's even joined. So my husband, who joined Compass about a year ago, and then now my son. You know, I just want to welcome your business, and if you have any real estate needs, whether you're looking for a rental, a purchase, to sell your house, or an investment property, just call me.
The Coach Mike Alexander Show is produced by Tradio.
Offensive line right now.
Mustangs lining up quickly. Snap back, hand off to Polk. He's going to get the first down inside the 10, inside the 5, breaking tackles and into the end zone for the touchdown.
Now, here's Carnes and Coach with this week's recap and DNA players.
Hello, Mustang Nation. Matt Carnes, Grapevine Booster here for Week 5 of the Coach Mike Alexander Show, Team 102 season. Special thanks to Kim Assaad for sponsoring us again. Special thanks to Trey Bell and Tradio for having us. And let's hear it for Main Event. We are live from here at Main Event, Grapevine, Texas. And as always, joined for the Coach Mike Alexander Show by head coach of your Grapevine Mustangs, Coach Mike Alexander. And Coach, as we were talking before the show, we think we have not only the only coaches show in the country, but for sure the only live coaches show in the country.
And I guarantee you the only school that's got their boys their own intro song too.
Well, that is true. We've got our own intro song. It's a really cool setup. So special thanks to Trey and everybody for putting that one together. Had a big week this week. Traveled down to South Fort Worth. Got to go play the Fort Worth Southwest Raiders. And tell us about how the game went. It was a big win.
Yeah, huge win, Matt. You know, that was a game last year that we found ourselves down in at halftime. And so we knew that, you know, Southwest was going to come out and be a formidable opponent. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, everything went right for us early. It was one of those games where special teams played a huge role in the game and gave them a long field, you know, pretty much every time we kicked. And then, man, we started off like gangbusters, and Parker stuck one in early, and you know, the route was kind of on by halftime. But, you know, the thing I was most proud of our kids about is how they came out and played the second half just as well as they played the first quarter. And everybody got in the game, everybody played their tails off, and I'm telling you, we're seeing some really good things from some of our guys that are, you know, slated on the depth chart as number 2s. They're stepping in and playing, and they're playing really well too.
Well, that'll bode well for the future and for the rest of the season. Big win. It was 51-0, and the day started off with Breakfast of Champions. Chris Avila, and I talk about it a lot. Men of the community, you need to be there. If you're not, come join us. It'll be Thursday this week because we have a Thursday night game. Chris Avila started off, and we're halfway through the season. He talked a lot about to the players about how you start off with a beginning point and then the promise at the end, but in the middle you've got the process, and we're kind of in the middle of the process of the season. Talk about Chris and what he talked about with that for us.
Well, I think it was really timely because, our players, and we talk a lot about this, we have big goals. We have big dreams, and, and those dreams consist of playing again in the third and fourth round of the playoffs and even further. But there's some work that's got to be done before then, and I think our guys are listening to him. I'd tell you today, this morning at practice, we probably had the best practice that we've had all year. It was really spirited. The guys getting after each other. We improved as a football team today, and I don't think a lot of teams can say that midway through the year when they're in the middle of district play on a Monday morning at 7 o'clock that they're having their very best practices. But we did today, and I was really proud of that.
Well, it shows that they're listening, and if you were there Friday morning last week, you could see they were all locked in and listening to Chris. It was very impressive. So you're at 4-2 now, 4-2 overall for the season, 3-0 in district. We'll get to some of the players here in a minute. Before we do that, let's talk about the freshman and JV teams.
Yeah, the JV is they're now 4-2 as well. Yep, they're 4-2. They won a big one against Southwest on Thursday night last week, and our freshmen have now moved to. I think they're 3-3, so they're getting better, and they're on a 2-game win streak right now. So really proud of them. They were able to take down Prosper in a really good game. Came down to the wire last week, so I'm really proud of our freshmen and the improvement that they're making. They're starting to play the game more physical. They're starting to play it faster, and we just got to keep going, getting better.
Well, and they're going to have a short week as well.
Yep.
You were saying they've got all their games on Wednesday.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough week.
So Wednesday, Grapevine community, come on out to Mustang Panther Stadium. We have a football extravaganza planned for you. Starting at 4 o'clock, we'll have our freshman B team, followed by the freshman A team, followed by the JV, all on the same site, same night, back to back to back. So it'll be a night of football. So come on out and enjoy yourself.
Hope the concession stands are open because they're going to need it if you're going to be there that long. But come on out. It'll be worth the show. We got a new feature you're adding in here. 6 years of doing this, and now you're going to add a new feature on me.
Yeah, I was kind of sprung it on you, but it's going to be good. I thought about, spotlighting a captain, the last 4 weeks of the year, of the season here. And so we got Caleb Tejada here on the show with us tonight, and Caleb. So I just want you to talk to the people watching the show and give them a little bit of insight in our football program, and then what it means to be a captain. So first question is, in your opinion, and everybody can probably come up with something different, but in your opinion, what's the best thing that we do in our football program?
I like the fact that we have to earn everything every day in our practices. The starters aren't guaranteed to actually play. You have to earn that starting position every week, so it makes for a high-intensity practice every day.
Yeah, that's and man, that's something that's going to pay off in life, I believe, for all of our guys. Earn everything every day. Thank you. And then last thing for you, Caleb, is what do you hope that your teammates would say about you as a captain? What would be the best compliment they could give you?
I hope that they would see me as the guy that they could look to for, to be, I want to be a good influence on everyone that I can. So everyone look to me for whatever. Just talk to me about anything.
Awesome. Thanks, Caleb. Appreciate you being here today.
Thanks, Caleb. All right, so let's move on to the DNA Players of the Week. Starting off, we got Tyler coming up first. Is that right?
No, we're going to go Meshach.
Oh, we're going to go Meshach. All right, sorry. Meshach was headed this way. Come on over here on this side, Meshach.
So Meshach was our Attitude Player of the Week. Meshach plays cornerback for us. He had a big pick in the fourth quarter, and Meshach. The biggest question I want to ask you and let you give some insight to our viewers out there. You had a terrible injury last spring. Yes, talk to us a little bit about your injury last spring, and then I got a follow-up question for it.
Okay. So playing 7-on-7 7 against Flower Mound. Kid ran a slant. I broke on the slant, got the PBU, and snapped my ankle. Found out that I broke it, tore it, and just did everything. And I was out for 4 months. And I just came back, worked out a lot, did anything I could to start. And then obviously that didn't happen because, you know, I had people in front of me working as I was still recovering from the broken ankle. Yeah.
So that was hard, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, so what have you learned throughout that process of, you know, coming off a 4-month rehab, you know, haven't broken back into the starting lineup, but have a huge role on special teams and getting your shot here and there playing cornerback. What have you learned through all that?
That you don't just come back from being a returning starter and your spot's just there. You have to work for it. And on special teams, you just play your role. If I'm not a starter, I'm on special teams, and I'll do my part to help the team win.
Well, you definitely have done that. The kickoff team is special for a lot of reasons, and, you know, none bigger than number 13 running down the middle of the field. And we were so happy for you to get your first pick of the year the other night, and look for more of that. So
yes,
thanks
sir.
for being here, Meshach.
Yes, sir.
All right, there's Meshach. Next up, we got Josh Logan.
Josh Logan. Josh is 2 weeks in a row.
We
isn't
had
it?
Josh last week, too.
Yeah. So in full transparency, I did ask Josh a little bit ago, hey, Josh, what did I ask you last week? You know, and so make sure I wouldn't repeat that. But I got an easy one for you this week, Josh. Number one, congratulations on being our Compete Player of the Week. That's 2 weeks in a row. And for the nose guard to be recognized, you know, with all those guys trying to block you, that's a special thing. So really proud of you for that. Let's talk about where you want to go. What are your plans for the future? How good do you want to be? What do you want to do? Where do you see your football career going, Josh?
I definitely see myself as a high threat to anyone else's offense. I really want to be a first-team all-district nose guard, maybe even all-state if I possibly can, because I'm still very new at this position, but I feel like my potential is really high. And then I'm trying to get my college offers up right now because I feel like I'm too small to be an O-lineman, and that's what I was last year. But defensive line, the interior defensive line, I think I'm a good fit.
Well, Josh, you're figuring it out, and man, I think you're going to be a tough block for a lot of the offensive lines down the road. So keep getting better, brother. Thank you.
All right, Josh Logan.
All
Next up, let's have Drew Vi.
Drew Vi, come on up. All right, so
number 12 in the highlights when we get there.
So Drew, man, you played a lot of different positions for the Mustangs, hadn't you?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming a receiver.
Let's see. Junior year, last year, I think about halfway through the season, I got moved from quarterback to tight end and played that for a few games in the rest of the season. And then I guess in spring ball, I got moved to wideout.
Yeah. So, and by the way, Drew's our family DNA Player of the Week, and which is a big one for us. And so, Drew, most people probably think playing wide receiver is all glamorous and glorious. Tell everybody out there the true story. Okay, what's it really like playing receiver?
You know, obviously you want to get the ball as much as you can and do you know, get yards, get touchdowns, whatever. But you just have to do your job, and if that's not happening, then make your blocks and just always help out where you can.
Yeah, so Coach DeBess, our receiver coach, he likes to use the word strain. You need to strain every play. What does he mean by that?
Just always give 100% each play, and never, you know, if you don't get the ball, don't just stand around. And he always wants us to get involved in the play and do what we can.
So Drew was family DNA Player of the Week because of how he strained every play without the ball in his hand, running full speed routes even when you didn't get the ball, blocking the guys you're supposed to block, springing backs and other receivers for extra yards. You had a great game, man. Real proud of you. Look for big things down the road. Thanks, Drew.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hear it for Drew Vi. Next up, we got Tyler Mears.
All right, Tyler. First off, let's talk about that touchdown, man. You finally found the end zone. So you've had the ball in your hands more than any defensive player over the last 2 years, and you finally got in the end zone. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
It was on a punt. They were deep backed up in the end zone, and one of my teammates blocked it, and I saw the ball come out and just jumped on it.
Well, that was a great play, and we appreciate the points, but that's not why you're here, okay? Why you were voted the Discipline DNA Player of the Week was because of your grade at playing Will linebacker. You have improved throughout the year. Tell us the one thing that you think you did better this week that allowed your grade to be good enough to be selected our Discipline Player of the Week.
Trusting my technique that Coach Anno teaches me. I've really been working on it this year, and just trusting it throughout the game. It started a little slow, but towards the end I really got it.
Well, man, you're really coming on, and between you, Leighton, and Latham, and those guys, you're all playing really well, and look for big things down the road from you guys.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Tyler.
All right, let's hear it for Tyler Mears. Speaking of the defense, 0 on the other side of the scoreboard is always a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Let's go look at the highlights.
All
we
right.
have lots. Let's see what these DNA players did. Let's go to the highlights and see how they look.
All right, so this is early in the game. We got a little power to the right side called. Great job with our offensive line, and I'll tell you what, it was tough sledding in there. Southwest was giving us some crazy fronts, but the offensive line and Parker figuring it out. This next clip right here was a great play. Can you pause that, Trey? Can you go back to that? Definitely want to highlight Blake Burgess right here. This was this onside kick they tried. This is a product of Southwest watching video, and they knew we had a little bit of a blunder on our kickoff return a week ago, and they went right at Blake, and Blake made a huge play right there, secured the ball, and got our offense the ball back in really good field position. And then here we come back on offense. Yeah, yes sir. So nobody was really expecting them to onside after a safety kicking from their 20, but they did, and like I said, Blake did a great job. Wanted to just brag on him right there. And then we got Caleb back in the lineup, still a little gimpy, but he's a 60-70% Caleb Tejada is better than most. Great job offensive line, caving down that whole left side of their defensive line, and then the pullers coming around. Great job by Dylan and our Y right there, and then Hank Miller. So really proud of those guys. Actually, let me correct myself. That was Roman on that play right there. Roman Holguin at Y. He and Hank were trading out most of the night. Defense. Actually giving up a couple first downs. I think both of them were to penalties, and then we got a big fumble right there, got our defense off the field. This is after we had scored a couple times. Looked like they were going to climb right back in the game at 16-0, but big turnover right there by our defense. Played big all night when they needed to. Start of the second quarter, we inserted Walker Berryman back in the lineup at quarterback, and he starts off with a bang, hitting Caden Cook on a go route up the sideline. Caden does a good job of getting his receivers stacked, and made it look interesting right there. I think he caught it twice, and then we come back and little H choice we got play to Sammy Kelly right there, and Sammy runs a good route, almost gets widened too much, makes a good adjustment, good ball by Walker. That's pretty right there. All right, defense. This is about as close as they got to the end zone right here, and right there before halftime. And Savion's got great coverage, does a great job, nowhere to throw the football. Proud of our defense all night long. And then we come back and get the ball to Caleb on a little slip screen right here, delay screen. like I said, that's a 70% Tejada getting caught from behind. Saw his ankle gimping him up a little bit, but good execution by our offensive line. We turned one guy unblocked that ended up, keep preventing us from getting a touchdown. But overall, it's a really good play. That's a tough one to practice. Those guys are never where you want them to be when you come game night. The big boys come in, finish it off. Parker, a little counter play with our jumbo package. A lot of movement in there, making a wall, and like I said, Travis getting a good kick out block, and then Hank sealing it. Great job, offense. All right, we're going to see this in slow-mo, Matt. You watch that right side of the line. Leighton Towery's getting in on this too. He gets a great down block. Just build a wall right there, and here comes Travis around. That's good execution.
That was blocked good enough. I might have been able to score on that one, Coach.
You probably could have, Matt.
I'd have pulled something, but I could have scored.
Yep.
Okay, so we go to halftime. We're up 30-0. Halftime speeches are always interesting. Sometimes you've got to rally the troops. Sometimes you got to keep them going. What was our talk at halftime this week?
Our talk was it was easy to talk at halftime this week because Southwest had kind of kicked our butt. The previous two drives. Defensively, we'd given up a couple first downs the previous two drives, and then offensively, we'd stalled out and not scored the previous two drives. So going in, to halftime, I was pretty quiet until I wasn't, and then challenged the guys to come out and start the third quarter the way we started the first quarter, not how we finished the second one. And we did, and we played really well in the third quarter. And then we started rotating in guys, by the midway point in the third quarter, and everybody we put in, they came in and played their butts off, and it was a great team win, man.
Well, let's go look at those second half highlights and see how they did respond to that.
All right, this is a lot going on in there, but I'm telling you, really proud of our defensive line and our linebacking core of getting their fits right. You can just see Leighton Towery just being real patient. It opens, bam. And that's not a one-guy play. That is the whole defensive line doing their job, everybody fitting where they're supposed to. So great job defense right here. Here's the butt shot of it. Wham. That's sound defense, Matt.
When they talk about filling the gaps, that's what it looks like.
About to see Tyler's touchdown right here, Matt. So bad snap, and we're the recipient of it, and so Tyler falls on it. Oddly enough, Tyler probably scored a touchdown down there in that same end zone, about the same spot a year ago, when Mason Shimkus grabbed the football from him and took it from him, if you remember that. And so that was almost crazy. I mean, I'm telling you, it was almost the exact same spot, wasn't it, Tyler? Pretty close.
Do you get an assist? Does he at least get the assist in the touchdown, or is that a whole different sport?
That's a different sport. I think.
That's a different game.
Yeah.
Different game. All right.
About
Well,
assists in football.
Touchdown assist.
All right. Hey, new formation for the Mustangs, and we get in this thing to run the football, and then you look up and your receivers got single coverage. And this is what was crazy about this game, Matt. Look at all those guys around the line of scrimmage. I mean, we honestly, like I told Coach Lloyd and offensive staff, we get that junk again, like we'll just throw the football because we're not running those 9-man boxes, and that's what they're giving us. And our receivers did a great job of receivers and quarterback connecting right there. Cole threw a really nice ball to Sammy. And then we get stalled out the next drive, fourth down, and we've been working on this in practice. And I'm like, heck, let's just do it. So we run a little fast screen out of our punt formation and sling it out. Colt slings it out there to Parker. We don't block it great, but we get in the way enough where Parker, makes one miss and gets the first down. So, it's those things, one of those things you work every day in practice. Heck, you might as well do it when the situation arises. So then we get the first down, sling it out there to Parker on a little, what we call a little Bama screen. And best thing about this play is our team captain, left tackle, Drake Beckwith, getting out there. Look at the big man running, blocking, planting a dude. That's good stuff right there.
And a pancake.
Yep, that's good stuff. Parker got stopped on the 1, so here we go. Jumbo right. Run a little power play, pulling Travis around. Travis Mason. So it's just down, kick out. Get behind the big bodies in there and stick in the end zone. Desperation time for the Southwest Raiders. And there's Meshack coming up big with his first pick of the year. We get good pressure on the quarterback, and he throws the ball a little bit high, and Meshack's there to come down with it.
You know, as he was talking earlier, after all he's been through, that had to feel good.
No doubt. I was so happy for him. I was going to go do the hip bump thing, but everybody on the team had already hip bumped him by the time he got to the sideline.
So let's go to the McKinley and Hutchings certify the numbers. Final score 51-0. Let's look at some of these offensive and defensive stats here.
Yeah, I mean, rushing isn't great. I mean, 90 yards for 35 carries, but I'm telling you, they had 8 and 9 in the box the whole, really from about halfway through the second quarter on, and so you're not going to run the ball into that. And then when you're up 40-0, like, it's hard for me to call a bunch of pass plays, and then it starts to look bad. So, but we were efficient in the passing game. We hit some home runs because of the single coverage, and the numbers aren't great, but we played well enough to win the game, and that was what was important.
Well, you didn't have a lot of yards, but 4 of your TDs came on the ground. So,
yeah,
especially in the red zone, it was effective.
That's the thing, the stuff they were doing, Matt, it just didn't lend itself to doing what we do best, and so we had to result to doing a lot of gap scheme runs, and when you got 9 in the box and you're shooting gaps and twisting and shouting and doing all the stuff they were doing, it's going to make things a little bit hard. But at the end of the day, I was proud of our offensive line. I was proud of our running backs, and I was proud of our quarterbacks for taking what they gave us when they did give us a single coverage, making them pay. 281 yards. We had short field most of the time too. We didn't have to drive it much. So, but it was a good night. Everybody played well, and proud of those guys.
Well, let's look at the defense. Obviously, they went up a 0 on the scoreboard, but just another solid performance from the Mustang defense.
They're getting better, and it's probably difficult to see, from just a fan perspective. But I'll tell you this, watching the video, watching individual players like Josh Logan, Tyler Mears that we spoke with earlier today, they're getting better, especially up front. Our defensive line, our linebacking core starting to fit right, and, in the right timing too, because we need to be at our best, when playoff season rolls around, and it's on us. So hope they can keep rolling. But I was proud of, heck, those guys practice too. Anytime you can shut somebody out in this day and age, it's a big deal.
It is. So moving forward, we got Fort Worth Northside this week. Short week, Thursday night lights this week. At home. I'm sorry, it's not at home. It's at Farrington Field, 7 o'clock. But you've got a challenging week leading up to this. Talk about the week you got coming up this week and the game coming up Thursday night.
Just a lot of distractions, Matt. We didn't have school today, but we did have a great practice, like I mentioned earlier. But no school today. Tomorrow will be a regular day, and then Wednesday all the kids have PSAT or SAT during the day, so there's no practice before school. So can't practice before school. We can't practice after school because we're hosting Argyle's freshmen 2 games, 4 and 5:30. So it's just a weird week for us. I know they lost last week, but I have a lot of respect for the Northside football team. I think they're a sound football team. I think they're coached well. I think they do some good things. So, we're gonna have our hands full on a short week, but I expect us to play well.
Well, that'll be Thursday night, Farrington Field, 7 o'clock. Come check out the old historic Farrington Field. Actually, my dad had his leg broken playing football there when he grew up in Fort Worth.
Well, I got a quick story for you before we go on this Farrington Field and Northside and Grapevine. So Russell Kidd texted me this morning and said in 1975, Grapevine was East champs for the district, Northside was West Zone champs for the district, and I may have that one backwards, but they were both zone champs, played at Farrington Field for the district championship, and Grapevine won on a last-second pass. Same team that Dr. Kelly Brown was middle linebacker and captain of.
Very nice. Some good Mustang history there. So that's going to be Thursday night, 7 o'clock, Farrington Field. We'll see you there. Starts off with Breakfast of Champions. It'll be Thursday morning this week. Men, you need to be there. So make sure you're coming for that. Anything else before we sign off?
Go Mustangs.
All right. I want to say special thanks again to Kim Assaad for sponsoring the show, Trey Bell and Tradio for putting it together, and everyone who's been a part of this one. Thanks for coming out and joining us. Let's hear it again for the Mustangs. We'll see you next week.
Friday nights show us how. Bam, man, the Mac. Coach hates our attack. His bells and a band sound. Make these sacks on money down. Rustlers and cheerleaders, Billy's in form. Sundown in Texas, this is Mustang football. Rustlers and cheerleaders, Billy's in form. Sundown in Texas, this is Mustang football. Pre-game tailgates, Bobby Hugh is in the air. Living our dreams through this Mustang DNA we share. Game day clocks and whistles ready at the go. No question about it, cause it's football, you know. Bam, and the Mac, Coach A's air attack. His bells and a band sound. Big D sacks on money down. Rustlers and cheerleaders and Billy's in fall. Sunset in Texas, this is Mustang football. Sun's down in Texas, living it up in the fall.